Jamal Murray played the supervillain role last night, at least for Lakers fans. His epic buzzer beater over Anthony Davis gave the Nuggets a commanding 2-0 lead in the series. Murray had 20 points. 14 of them came in the fourth quarter when it mattered the most. This was Denver's 10th straight win over the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah. And Murray's shot, it capped off a 20-point comeback run. Denver's largest postseason comeback over the last 25 years. They were previously 0-27 in those scenarios prior to this game, too. As for the Lakers, LeBron James, he was focusing his frustrations on the overturned foul call from the third quarter after the game.
I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I think I said it this year or last year, whatever. D'Lo clearly gets hit in the face on a drive. What the do we have a replay center? This is going to go. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It bothers me. Sorry I didn't answer your question, but that is like.
Okay, so I actually understand. I did not think that it was the right call to overturn that foul on D'Angelo Russell, but that wasn't the thing that made the Denver Nuggets come back from down 20. This felt to me like the game the Lakers had in their hands, and they let it slip through their grasp. Brian Windhorst, did it feel like this was the last grasp for the Lakers?
I mean, obviously they played really well. They played 26 of their best minutes of the season, probably the 26 best minutes they played against Denver in the last 2 years. Yeah. And it didn't lead to a win, and that's very deflating, especially when you could have taken home court advantage. But, I mean, they're fighting the good fight. They are not the better team. The Nuggets are the better team. That's been established very clearly here. We do see upsets with teams that are lesser than rising up, and you need to win a road game. That's still technically on the table. But I'm just going to tell you that in LeBron's career, he's 15-1 in first-round series. He knows exactly what it means to be the best player on the better team, with teams coming in there, not getting it done and blaming the officials. He has been on the other side of that literally dozens of times. They are fighting against reality. I respect it, but it's reality.
Perk, you FaceTimed me in the middle of all of this last night because you were so adamant that LeBron James, you weren't sure that he was right about this. Can you tell us a little bit more?
I mean, look, it's over with. The Denver Nuggets are going to win in 5. Do I think that they're going to sweep the Lakers? No. I think LeBron James is going to dig deep. But he hasn't faced an opponent like Nikola Jokic. We're talking about arguably the best center to ever play the game of basketball, the most skilled center to play the game of basketball. And when you lose like this, the way that they did last night, being up 20 in game 2, being up 12 in game 1, all of a sudden, and you're watching this starting 5 walk them down like they're at a track meet, it becomes discouraging. So when you walk back into the Crypto.com arena, what are you going to say to a team, or what can you do in the locker room to say, let's get up, we got these guys, when they didn't beat you 10 times straight. They didn't beat you 10 times in a row with no hope. So my thing is, at the end of the day, when I look at them and I look at LeBron, he's giving all he can, AD's giving all he can, but they still have Jokic, and they still have Murray, and they still have Aaron Gordon, and they still have Porter, and they still have Caldwell Pope.
It's like Uno, he keeps putting down +4s.
Yeah, they're gonna continue to beat the brakes off the Lakers.
Okay, I'm someone that is always glass half full, and if there is one part of that glass that is looking up, it's the fact that in game 1, you had AD and LeBron show up. In game 2, you finally got D'Lo. So it seems like as the games progress, you're getting better play from one more star. But you're still going up against the Denver Nuggets, who don't have to play perfect. And I think what LeBron James is highlighting by calling out the officials is that at any course of the game, you know, you're going to think about these one possession. Basketball is a game of possessions. You can isolate the D'Lo foul, but you can also isolate the LeBron James shot, right? Like, there's certain circumstances that you can be mad about. KCP fell, LeBron shot the ball, and we see it right here. He was on a heater before this.
The closest defender was 14 feet away.
Look, without his prior shots, that miss, like, I'm glad that he took it, right? But at the end of the day, this was the possession. The thing that's wild is that the Denver Nuggets in this game led for 44 seconds. 44 seconds.
44 seconds that mattered.
That's all that mattered. And I think what LeBron James is saying, if we're going to come down to a game winner, we need to do our best on every possession leading up to that. And that's not a theme that is unique to the Lakers. We saw what happened with the Knicks. But in circumstances, there were, we all say the basketball gods. LeBron could have made that shot. AD could have got that stop. There were certain things that just bounced towards the Nuggets down the stretch, the same way things bounce towards the Knicks. And it's just, you got to go on to the next game.
Okay, first of all, it was a foul. Second of all, the Lakers have had the biggest free throw differential in the history of the NBA for the last 2 years running. Third of all, if that's a thing, I think we need to arrange LeBron to have an internship at the Replay Center for like a weekend of summer. Let's see how it all works. Get in there, get your hands on it. You try to do it too. And look, the margin for error for the Lakers in this series, the margin for bad luck, the margin for anything is 0.
Yep.
10 times in a row they have lost to this team. They just cannot afford a loss like last night. And they're actually playing pretty well. They forced the Nuggets to adjust.
Yeah.
They hit the Nuggets, and the Nuggets had to change their whole defensive game plan because the Lakers are playing so well. I just don't know what else they're supposed to do. They're outgunned. They made the conference finals last year. That's a successful season. They're just in a bad matchup. The Nuggets are going to win this series, and there's just nothing they can do about it.
I don't know how to put it any more succinctly than that. The crazy thing about last night, though, is that I truly thought that nothing could outdo the finish of the first game that we had between the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks. Because remember, Philadelphia led by 5 with less than 40 seconds to go in this game. And then everything went the New York Knicks way down the stretch. They played that tough brand of basketball we've seen all season. Dante DiVincenzo hitting that huge 3. Here's what Joel Embiid made of the finish of the game.
We should be 2-0, so, we're good. We're going to win this series. We're going to win this. We know what we got to fix. We did a better job today, so we're going to fix it. But we're the better team, and we're going to keep fighting.
Joel Embiid, he looked like a guy who maybe been through just a couple of gut-punching playoff losses in that moment. But he is saying the right things. Sinead, do you think that Philadelphia is headed for another early exit?
You are being so kind, because I walked into watching that game thinking that if Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are questionable and they don't play, this is a wrap. Like, it's a really tough circumstance. They play, and then they combine for, I believe, 69 points? They showed up. The problem is, so did the Knicks. And the problem also is, when you have home court advantage, that's where you get the benefit of the doubt. The atmosphere in the Garden was electric. I started off today talking about stargazing with LeBron James. People were stargazing with this finish, maybe the refs included, and that is very frustrating. So Philly, what they showed me is their best players still are giving gargantuan Herculean efforts, and they still fall short even when Jalen Brunson is able to play his best version of basketball. Now, they are going back home, and we did see good play. I wouldn't write them out, but it just makes it that much harder when the circumstances in which New York won were just like the end of the scouting report, not the start of it.
Right.
I was actually kind of surprised at how positive the 76ers were in their comments after the game, because I thought this was an absolutely devastating loss to have a 5-point lead. By the way, Kyle Lowry missed a free throw with 27 seconds left. That's where it started this. It could have been a 6-point lead, and that's where it started to go bad. I think that's a terribly devastating loss. They seem to have optimism. I don't think it's phony. I think they do. I think it emanates from they like